No, I'm not putting that in. Hi friends, and welcome back to a new video on my booktube channel, Books with Leo, and today I am here to discuss your favourite reads. So for today's video, I've got an idea that I had for a while, but I never got around to actually filming it until now. Basically, I always make these videos where I discuss my favourite recent reads, and I love doing those, and you guys seem to really like them as well, but I thought, what if we do a little switcheroo? I'm not funny. We do a little switcheroony. So I posted a story on Instagram and I asked you guys to let me know what your favourite recent reads were. But before we head on over to the rest of the video, I have a little sponsor message for you guys. Hi! So I'm here with a small word from today's video sponsor, which is Book of the Month. So Book of the Month is a super popular and fast-growing online book service for readers whose mission it is to promote new and emerging authors and help readers discover the books they love. The idea is that their team vets all of the books out there and then makes a curated selection of new and early release titles, and this way you can spend more time reading and less time researching, which we love because we're all about reading here. I'm super excited to work with Book of the Month as they always have great books to choose from and they are risk-free. So if you don't like any of the books in the selection that month, which would be really difficult because it's such a diverse collection most of the time, you can skip any month, anytime, without charge. Another thing that's really great about Book of the Month is that they have the best price out there for new release hardcover fiction. So with the code FRESH5, you can get your first book for only $9.99. A little side note though is that they do not ship outside of the US, which is very sad. I still decided to partner up with them because it's such a great service and a lot of my audience is based in the US and they might be interested in this service. Without any further ado, let's take a look at this month's picks. So first we have The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina by Zoraida Cordova, which is a dreamy, witchy novel about the Montoya family. We follow multiple generations as they try to uncover secrets about their magical inheritance. And then there is Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McConaughey, a book set in the Scottish Highlands in which we follow a biologist who sets out to reintegrate a pack of wild wolves back into the landscape, but gets swept up in a mysterious murder case in the midst of it. Next, we have Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapina, a domestic thriller about the brutal murder of Fred and Sheila Mercer, who were found dead after a dinner party with their 3 adult children. And a lot of family secrets and suspense are to be expected in this read. Another pick for this month is Damnation Spring by Ash Davidson. This book is about Rich Gunderson and his family who work as loggers and live in a beautiful redwood forest. As a mystery surrounding the herbicides and the risks for nature and mankind arise, all the characters have to rethink their morals and roots in life. And last, but definitely not least, is The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. This would be my pick for this month, for sure. When I took it out of the blue box, I squealed a little bit, was very excited. I read The Kiss Quotient a few months ago, and I cannot wait to pick up this book. This is a new heartfelt romance about violinist Anna's son who's struggling with burnout and trying to accept love into her life. And I'm always in the mood for a good rom-com, especially in the summer. So don't forget to head on over to bookofthemonth.com and check their service out and get your first book with code FRESH5 for only $9.99. So thank you so much to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video, and thank you all so much for supporting me and watching my content, and yeah, let's now get on with the rest of the video. So I posted a story on Instagram and I asked you guys to let me know what you've read recently that you really loved, really adored, and I got a lot of answers, and quite funnily, a lot of them are books that I had on my shelves, or books that I've read already, or books that I'm really planning on reading. And maybe that's not surprising because I mean, you guys watch my videos, so I guess you like my reading tastes. But that also has made me really enthusiastic to read some of these books that I've got in front of me. So I'm really excited to talk about some of these books and to discuss some new reads as well that I've never heard of, and to take you guys' recommendations, I guess, and maybe you can help each other out as well. It's like a big, all-together group activity on my channel. So I got a lot of answers, like a lot. Like I've never had this many answers to a story. Okay, so one of the first answers I got was from Nolan, who I know from TikTok. He's a really great TikToker, so you should check him out. I'll leave his link in the description. And he said, normal people, I really relate to the characters. So Sally Rooney's Normal People is a book that I need to pick up, honestly. I know a lot of people love it, and also a lot of my friends really like this book. All I know about it is that it's about Colonel and Marianne, and they grow up in this small town in Ireland, and they sort of grow up together and then they sort of drift apart and together all the time. It's like a love story but also not, and I think it's mostly about relationships and being in your 20s, and it's really coming of age and stuff like that. And I think it's set in university, but I'm not entirely sure. I got this friend. This is my friend now. This book, it's my friend. I got this book from my friend Sophie. So Sophie and I didn't see each other for a while because of quarantining and stuff. And then when we saw each other again, we were like, let's gift each other a book that we've read recently that we really loved and we think the other person will like as well. And she gave me Normal People. So I should read it. I should pick it up. And one of my other close friends has also recently urged me to read this, like, now. So yeah, it's definitely a really popular book. I know a lot of people love it, and it was to be expected in my Instagram DMs. This is one of your guys' recent favorite reads, and I hope one of mine soon too, because I need to pick it up. And Tess said the Mistborn trilogy, and we all know I love the Mistborn trilogy. This is the third book in the trilogy, and I've read the first two books and I still have not picked up the last book. Oh my god, please don't be angry with me. I can't help it. I haven't gotten around to that. So summarizing this fantasy series is pretty difficult to me, but the best job I could possibly do, I think, is just saying it plays on the idea of what if the bad guy won. So it's a fantasy battle, the bad guy won, he's ruling the kingdom now, and this is what that would look like. And we follow a sort of gang of misfits as they go on a heist, which is one of my favorite fantasy tropes. And it's also got a really interesting magic system based on metal elements and stuff like that. And you've got the Mistborn who have powers of all these elements and they're like special, and it's also a very humorous series and it's very funny. There's a lot of banter, so it's one of my favorite fantasy series, and it's really fun that you guys really love this series too. So a recent favorite for you and a bit of an old favorite for me, but definitely the third book. I need to pick it up because I've heard that it's epic and I should get around to it. My friend Sabine from Sabine's Book Nook said the girls I've been action-packed discussions about sex and dom abuse and cute romance. So that's actually really funny because in my latest reading vlog, I was also reading The Girls I've Been. I've recently read this as well. It wasn't really a favorite for me, but I did really like it. So this is about Nora, who is going with her new girlfriend to a bank to do a sort of deposit, and she meets there with her ex-boyfriend because he's sort of involved in it somehow. I think they're also exchanging like stuff. It's like the final round of their relationship because they've broken up and she's now with a girl. And then the bank gets robbed, and Nora actually used to be a con artist because her mother is a criminal, and she's the only person who can save them in the robbery, but like her girlfriend doesn't know that, and her ex-boyfriend and her have had a lot of issues because of that. So that makes for a really interesting plot, and I definitely like the plot. I just feel like the book fell a bit short, especially in the first half, and in the second half you get more attached to the characters and then it gains a bit more depth. But in the first bit I felt a bit like loosey-goosey, not attached to anything happening, mostly because everything was happening so quickly and I barely had time to process like anything happening. But I did really like the second half, and it's really fun to know that this is also one of Sabine's recent favourites. Ooh, somebody else is saying clap when you land. I love the sisters' relationships and the writing of Elizabeth Acevedo. Okay, so I read Elizabeth Acevedo's other book, and I loved that. That was called The Poet X, and I've been wanting to get to Clap When You Land forever since, but I just don't seem to get around to it, and that's mainly because I'm a mood reader and there's so many books on my TBR already, but I really need to get to this one. As far as I know, it's about two sisters who don't know each other, and then their father dies and they like discover they have a sister. It's again written entirely in verse, just like Elizabeth Acevedo's other book, and I genuinely think Elizabeth Acevedo is one of the most talented YA authors out there right now, especially the way she plays with prose. It's so beautiful. And this copy that I have is also really, really stunning. It has these cute buildings and leaves on the back. So this is definitely a book I hope it's going to be one of my new favourites. Fat Chance Charlie Vega, so cute, so diverse, and the conflict made sense. I love how that's like a good thing, like the conflict in the book made sense. Okay, so I'm gonna look that one up because I think I've heard of it before. Coming of age as a fat brown girl in a white Connecticut suburb is hard. Harder when your whole life is on fire though. Okay, that sounds really interesting. So this is about Charlie and her relationship with her body and her mum and the world and weight loss and accepting your body, stuff like that. And oh my god, the cover is absolutely adorable. Okay, that's definitely going on my TBR. I had heard of it before, but oh my god, I love that cover. Like, look at the colours. That is so cute. All the Light We Cannot See, Marie-Laure perspective is just fantastic. She's blind. So this is also a book that I own, All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. And I think this is about World War II, and it's about a blind girl. and she lives in Paris next to the Museum of History. I didn't know that. That's really cool. I think this is a book that I will really enjoy. I tend to really enjoy historical fiction every now and then, so this is definitely something I want to pick up, and also it has won a Pulitzer Prize, so I guess that's a good sign. Oh, this is a book that I've heard a lot of people about and that is really popular right now. I recently sat in a coffee shop and I actually saw a girl reading it next to me, and I was like, I really wanted to talk to her, but I was too scared. But anyway, that is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. So one of my friends, Brit, she's really into Matt Haig. She loves his Christmas books, and those are middle grade books, but this is an adult book, and it's one that I love the cover and I really want to read it. So this person says it was such a soulful read around mental health, and because I've struggled with mental health issues in the past, and I still do, I always love to see some mental health books that have great representation and that make it possible for more people to learn about how important mental health is. And this is definitely a book that I still want to pick up surrounding mental health. Everything I know about this book is that it's about a woman who gets to look back on her life in this sort of library that contains her memories, or like, that's what I think it's about. I like going into books a little bit blind, so a lot of the times I don't know like every in and out of the plot. I have heard though that it's a very empathetic read, and that it's very much about life and the choices we make, the paths we take. Ooh, that rhymed actually. I'm a poet. Anyway, but one thing I've also heard about this read is that it's a little bit depressing, and I can be really sensitive to moods in books, so I'm not sure if I'm in the best headspace to pick this up right now, but I do really want to, and I've heard a lot of great things about it. So even though I would love to sit around on my apartment floor and discuss all of the books you guys have sent into my DMs, I cannot possibly do that because we don't have time for that, I don't have time for that, you don't have time for that, nobody has time for that. But I do really hope you enjoyed this video, and I want to thank today's sponsor, Book of the Month, again for sponsoring my video and making it possible for me to keep creating fun content for you guys. So thank you all so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed this type of video, and also definitely let me know in the comments down below, do you have any recent favorite reads? And I will hopefully see you again in my next video. Have a lovely day. Bye!